All right, that's great. That's great. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Sam Habiel. I've been around the VistA community for many years now, but I'm still relatively a newcomer compared to many people. I worked at Osera, part of the last. I was the um, last person to hold the position that they had. That they called Director of Product Management before Osera shut down. And I actually participated, I won't say participated, I did a lot of the transfers of the resources from Osera's days. And besides that, I actually maintain personally various other websites that are Vista related. So uh, I will go ahead and talk about them. Osera shut down on February 14th, which is a date I will always remember. And all the assets were transferred to World Vista and Logica Health. And this is when I was kind of doing the arranging the transfers, I was actually like I made a sheet, I made the stuff on my notebook and kept checking it off when we actually transferred each resource. Oh boy, I have not gone there in a long time. I want to know what's on there, so we might have to take a quick look later. Logica Health archived many Osera resources that are not in general like specific websites. And at this point, I don't remember what's there. And you could tell I haven't went there for 3 years, so chances are it's not that important. The most important thing that we transferred is the FOIA Vista site. And for this, you have to really thank Nancy Anthracite, because I still don't know how it was managed to be done, but the people at the VA actually give us every month all the FOIA stuff to Nancy's servers, and we then post them up to this website. And this website is very up to date, and the other important pieces that we host on this website, besides the patches, we get all the pharmacy DAT files, and you can thank me for that because I'm the one who got the I worked with Rick Spivey before he retired from the VA to get the process for having them release the DAT files for pharmacy. And the last thing, oh yeah, and there's the integration agreements, the so-called ICRs, and that they are also being updated, I think monthly now, Nancy, right? I don't remember.
Yeah, because we have to use those to create Vivian. Also,
Yep.
do you want to tell people what PPS stat files have in them?
So these are the pharmacy data files.
Like national drug files.
Like the national drug files. They used to send them out as patches, and they stopped. And the reason that they stopped is simple. It was just too difficult to send out DAT files every month. I mean, kids files every month. It took too long to make, and so this having them release it that way is actually faster for the field and easier to install anyway. So Vivian is also another important thing that we produce monthly. Now that you entirely have to thank Nancy. So out of the iris that VA sends us every month, we Nancy runs a big set of scripts and it gets pushed it, and then this basically extracts VistA out into various into lots of files which are presented as the Vivian website. We also have the Vivian R, but that has not been updated since Osera's when Osera shut down. So that's the last copy of RPMS since Osera was around.
So I want to say that for Sam to say to thank me is crazy, because this script that runs to create the Vivian website is phenomenal. And it's also very complicated, and sometimes it fails and it needs fixing. And how Sam manages to fix it, I don't know, but he has so far, and we so far have managed to keep it afloat. But I'm hoping it will continue, because it's just amazing what the script does. And it takes, it takes like 8.5 hours to run, to give you an idea how big it must be. So anyway, cross your fingers it keeps working. People in the VA like to use Vivian, I have to say. It's not just, the developers and stuff like to use it, so it's important for VistA people.
I always show Vivian in my VistA Foundations training class, and it is the hit. It is the hit. People see it and they go, "Wait, give us that URL. Where'd you get that?"
Mm-hmm.
Great.
So Osera hosted a lot of GitHub repositories of lots of code. Most have went to World Vista. Then we have a bunch that went to Logica Health, which I will give you the list. There is Open Alta, Cynthia-related repositories, KBS, some Java stuff, which I don't remember anymore what it does, then EHMP. And we actually, if there were releases or wikis, they went along with the GitHub repo. And I think depending on the time, we can actually, I'll get my browser fired up and we can explore each of these websites. All of the Docker Hub images were transferred to World Vista. This is wrong now. I need to update this. Maybe I should update this now.
Like you and Alan, editing on.
Only Viho image is being updated today. All right, there you go. So Joe Snyder, who worked for Kitware, he's actually did a lot of the work for Vivian. We had something called a tech journal, and it contained a lot of code in flight and various other code, and various other code that was submitted to Osera. It contains a lot of excellent code that can be reused for other purposes, a lot of it M code, including stuff like the VA has wanted to put into production and decided to shelf the project and not put it into production. One example for something that never went to production, for example, is the Kids Patch auto installer. That's M based, not the Osera. We have a Python based one, another auto installer, but this one is also in it's also there. So that was again, we'll go visit if we have it. I have some time. EHMP, and this is kind of declining relevance now at this point. But if anybody around here knows what EHMP is, we have something called the Nexus server and the virtual machines available offline. So you actually have to ask somebody for them, and we'll see if we could get them for you. And at this point, I don't have a clue where they are. I completely forgot.
So, Sam, we got lots of room on servers, at least one of the servers now. So, if you can find them and I can post them, it would help. I'd be happy to do it.
I know we put them somewhere. I just don't remember where. But
Maybe on the resource disk you gave me?
maybe, yeah, maybe I would think so.
Okay.
So there's a website called code.osera.org that just hosted clients and large kids builds. It's not being updated, so by and large, I honestly haven't really used it in all the time since Osera shut down. So I'd say, that's not something to try to remember. There were a lot of videos that Osera made, all of the webinars and demos and whatnot, and they're archived under resources.worldvista.org, and I think the first one is a Logica, I think, is a Logica website. So it has webinars and includes some videos, actually, now I remember, from WeHo University, which I forgot about that. Now that I remember this, there's some WeHo University videos.
I think some of those are on education.worldvista.org too, right?
Oh yeah, that should be coming up. I
Okay.
don't remember,
Yeah.
did we?
No, don't worry.
Actually, education.worldvista is not there. Did we set this up after this presentation? Maybe we did.
Yeah, we got
Oh, that's right.
Fischetti,
Anthony
right?
did it.
Yeah,
Anthony did
Anthony
it for
Fischetti.
us. Thank you, Nancy. Completely forgot that this happened.
Yeah, that was a big job getting that all straightened out.
So, yep, that's good. So, I don't think so. As far as the work groups, I need to fix this. Fire on Vista, we have not met since Osera shut down. So there's this. This is more correct now. Whoops. All right. So there are several. A lot of Osera hosted many work groups, and many continued to meet. Reminders is the one that meets regularly every Friday. Immunizations meet once a month. And Pop Health is sort of amazing. I cannot say how amazed I am that it's still continuing and is still producing software. And this we have to thank Peter Lee, who was the technical director at Osera. He has another job now, but he's continued to chair the Pop Health group, and with various community members, keep the software up to date. There are several groups that stopped meeting, and this is a list. Well, this kind of needs to be a little bit updated because for the first one is I think we need to add that there's CRH gave us a website, just this meeting, but I don't know what the website is, say where the VM is, because they released a lot of their open source software. One thing that Osera did, which was very important, and I don't want to down because it was one of the I think it's one of the most important, one of the very important things we did. There, a state, unlike a federal government, does not, the software developed in a state is not FOIA software. There's no, that is just not written in the U.S. law. And so what we actually had to do, what Osera did together with Matt King's help, so I think it was Don and Matt King, was that we looked for a legal way to actually release the software developed by CRH, and it basically meant like reaching out to various state officials and asking for permission. And the reason you're able to see a lot of central regional hospital software these days is because of that initial work giving us the legal framework of how to get software developed at the state released.
So I also will say that subsequent to that, there was continued work to be able to get all of it, basically all of it released that you saw on the first day. So
Yep.
that was an ongoing process after Osera started it. And it's just wonderful that it succeeded.
I mentioned FOIA resumed in April, and Code and Flight have been happening on GitHub, but Nancy, do you know if they're happening anymore technically?
No, I don't think there's
haven't seen.
anybody doing that. When I make FOIA requests, which I do a lot, I put it up on opensourcevista.net, Nancy's Vista server.
Okay. Which I have to add that server because I forgot it. Okay, let me do that. So stuff that is gone. We had the Jira server, and to be honest, we didn't really. Oh, this is the one that needs to be updated. The second one. So education.worldvista.org. Here you go. There you are. Another update. That's good. So other resources, and I was just like putting this together very quickly, but let me just add open source vista.net, right, Nancy?
Yep, and then / Nancy's with a capital N and no apostrophe, Vista, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you got it right, and a capital S.
All right,
Yeah.
good. Lots of, how would you describe it? Random stuff.
Random stuff is right, including FOIA requests.
A FOIA request and pictures of birds.
And you name it. Yep.
All right. And I'm sure there are a lot of other websites. And so, all right. So let's, how much time do I have left, Nancy?
I don't know. Let me look. I'm sorry. I've been too busy listening to you.
That's good. I think 15 minutes, more or less.
Brian went to 10:15. Yep, 15 minutes.
Good. So, all right. So let's let me see what I need to just clean up my browser because I had a lot of tabs opened and just.
You having any luck, Dylan? Get a hold of Brian?
I haven't heard anything. If you'd like, I can give a short intro to Cynthia at some point, but I don't have a full 45-minute presentation prepared.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll connect with him and then we can move him into a different slot.
All right. So let me start sharing again. Let's ask if any people have any questions. I see there is. Oh, Greg was asking if you have extensive notes on how to create Vivian, and the answer is Nancy. Nancy keeps everything in a script for a human. Is that all right, Nancy? So you have a
Yeah,
lot of those.
I have a directions that I follow to do it. But the beginning part, you'd probably have to get some help on from Sam to the original download of the stuff because I have trouble with that. So I always say, okay, when we need to update something, I watch him do it. So,
Ah,
but we can get it
All
together,
right.
I think.
Let me just make sure I close all the other windows.
sometimes what I do, Sam, when I've got one clogged like that, I just fire up a different browser. I just
Oh
go
yeah,
into
that's a good point. That's a
I
good
go
point.
into Chrome or something, that I never use. I go into Chrome and and I don't have to worry about
Yeah,
it.
I just have other windows. I just wanted to close them because I wasn't planning to present.
You
All
you
right.
mentioned you mentioned FHIR on VistA. What happened to that? I mean, I've
Oh,
had
okay,
people.
sure. That's a great question. Um, the software is still there if you want to install it and use it. What we're talking about, what went down is there was a group that was meeting monthly. So let me give you a little bit of a background of what was going on. Um, uh, there was actually kind of a commercial sponsor for the work at Osera. That it was actually, trying to remember who they were. I'm trying.
Perspective, maybe?
Perspecta, yes, Perspecta, and I think they got renamed themselves in, the usual acquisition, Beltway acquisition thing. So they're not called Perspecta anymore. But at that point, they were trying to do something that is a federated platform, and they were using Cynthia in order to demo how you can load patients in Cynthia, and they were using the Cynthia patients in order to load it. And part of that was Cynthia produced fire resources, and George Lilly, there's another guy, I can't remember his name. They wrote, I am gonna say, I think they wrote most of the software. I came in later, and I wrote a little bit. I wrote the pharmacy part, and I wrote to import medications. I wrote a little bit of other stuff here and there. I troubleshooted bugs, and I packaged it up. That's kind of my specialty, is packaging up stuff so that it's installable. So I did that at the very kind of near the end of all of the development. And then people use that to load Cynthia patients into VistA. And from there, it was actually a pretty successful project, but the problem with it is that it needs continuous maintenance because Cynthia keeps changing. And basically, and VistA changes, but not as fast as Cynthia does. And so we kind of needed to get it maintained, and I can show you where the source code is. But at this
George is
point,
going to be
I'll be
George is going to
talking
be
about it
talking about.
tomorrow.
oh, you're going to be talking about it. That's right, tomorrow. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
I got a talk called Fire Jason and Vista.
All right. Well, I
And
should have just said to Greg, come tomorrow.
Aha. Okay, I'll be there.
All right. So there you are. Yep. All right, let's see. I'll share my slot. I'll share my screen again. Now I shut everything, and I can't find this. Okay.
Want me to get a pop up? Never mind, you found it.
I found it. Good. So let's look at this fancy general archive because I have no idea what's in it. There you go.
It's still there, but
Logica, that's good. Oh, look at this. But they have, here we go. They tell you like you could ask. So Tech Journal archive, event videos, Osera video planning, Vivian, the old Vivian, an old copy, various source code. That's pretty good. Well done, actually. Really well done.
yeah.
I'm glad it's still around. So let's go to the FOIA site. So you see a lot of a lot of links in purple because I go there a lot. So this is the FOIA site, and I'll tell you just the most important parts on the FOIA site that you need to know of. So this folder DBA contains the if you go to 2023, this zip file contains the irs.dat. So if you need to get the cache version, what used to be cache, you want to download this and follow the instructions on hardhats.org. I'll show you where that is. In here, then you want the kids patches. They're either here, patches by application, and you go by namespace, or if you're installing, if you're updating by month, you go here and go to the correct year. So yeah, this website goes up to 2011. So this is good. So what if you want a patch from before 2011? Well, you could find it here under historical files. And this one is not as well organized, but I think this is the folder, and I think you could just go to the namespace and find the patches that you want.
So Sam, let me mention one thing. Can you go
Yeah,
back
sure.
to the main one? Go by
Yeah.
patches by application and to go to PXRM.
Oh, that's right, PXRM. That is a special thing. You're right. Nancy
And
does a special service, PRD files.
yeah, so we extract these from the FOIA. Because they're not installed really in the FOIA, but these are where you find all the reminders. And then where it says documents, they were taken down off of the VA website originally because they weren't 508 compliant. So I've been making them all 508 compliant. So there are instructions and the reminders here, of which there are a ton.
There are
And
definitely a ton.
they update them. They probably make 2 reminders a month, or 2 reminders, 10 reminders a month. So, and they're wonderful. So I just wanted people to be aware of it because I wasn't sure that they were.
All
And
right. Yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah, that's
No,
it.
I'm
That's
done.
it. Okay, good. So that's FOIA. So let's add to the slide. Remember the PRD files as well. Why is this not typing? Oh no, PowerPoint crashed. That's hilarious.
Why'd you put parentheses reminders? Because I'm not sure everybody's going to know that's.
All right, very good. So Vivian, a lot of people know Vivian, so I'll go to Vivian now. And so the main parts of Vivian is divided into 2 pieces. So you go to docs, and this is a quick, I could do an entire lecture on Vivian, but we're just gonna show you something that I use Vivian for. So I go, let's say I wanna know the fields in the new person file. And so you could see like, well, the fields are over here. That's good. how many entries there are. There are 96. And are there integration control agreements? There are, and it lists you all the ICRs, and then you can click on the specific ICR so that you can go to it.
So let me mention to Greg, because he's the one that might know and have an interest in this, that we've been contacted about the possibility of discussing some patches they're building for the ICRs to make them easier to use and all. And we're going to have a conference call with Debbie Trost, or Trost, over that. And so I'll try to remember to get a hold of you, because I think you'd be a very good person to join that call. I'll announce it on Hard Hats too. If you read Hard Hats, you'll see it.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to join that call.
She's looking for.
Sam, have you ever done any like recorded webinars on Vivian, or
In that webinar list at Osera we have done, and at this point I have to find that. I just don't remember where it is anymore. But we definitely did. We definitely did.
Okay. Is out there on that Logica Health repository?
It might be even on education.worldvista.org, education.worldvista.org. No, we don't have it here, so
okay.
It would be resources.worldvista.org. Innovation, probably. Let's see if you have Vivian here. Here we go. There's Vivian. There's one here.
Can you paste that link into the chat?
Yep. So I'll just paste that one.
Okay, yeah, good. Access to all of them.
Oh yeah, you could. I can. Okay, sure. I will send you that. And so where is the chat here? I cannot find it when I'm presenting. It's somewhere here. I'll stop sharing for now. Just go to the chat. Here we go. Well, I only have 4 minutes left, so I don't really have time. So do we want to just let Olivier get ready and start, because he's online now?
Yeah, maybe you can finish off those slides and people can look there for more information about other places.
Sure.